earlier, given the vector, let's say A, and you given the theta and phi, as you can see, these are three numbers. Given that, you could have vectors. You could determine you could, what you did is you could solve for AX, you also have AY, and you have your AZ. Kanina atong example is DX, DY, DC. Now, can we do the reverse? Given AX, AY, and AZ. Yes, we can. So given a vector, say for example, Z, X, Y. If you have a vector, you know that this is AY, this is AX, and this is AZ. How would we know the value of theta? How would we know the value of phi given the value of AX, AY, and AZ? And how would we know the value of the magnitude of A? So given the information AX, AY, AZ, how would we determine the angle? We know that earlier we know that the magnitude is just given to by Pythagorean theorem, AX squared plus AY squared plus AZ squared. Okay, we know that. Now, to determine theta, how would we know theta? Theta is just equal to, once you have A and given an AZ, then you can determine theta. That is basically hypotenuse and adjacent, so that's ka. Cosine theta is just AZ, given naman ang AZ, given ang AZ equals A, which is given na po, makalculate mo, given ang AZ. So therefore, theta is, are you guys familiar with inverse cosine or inverse function? Inverse function, cosine theta, AZ over A. And to determine the angle phi, we will have to continue. So if we want to determine angle pi, this is for theta, this is for A, for magnitude, theta, phi. To determine angle phi, we could use this relationship, cosine, we could use this, cosine phi equals A sine theta, the theta that you have identified already here, and then A sine theta divided by D sub x, A sub x. Okay, so that's cosine phi. To determine phi, we need to use the inverse function of cosine. So that's cosine negative 1 all throughout of A sine theta over A sub x. A is given here, A sub x is given already, then theta is given here. So you can determine the value of phi. You may also determine the value of phi if you want to use the value of A sub y. This is an inverse function of sine A sine theta over A sub y. Another approach is we could use the tangent theta. So phi using inverse tangent 1 A sub y over A sub x. So there, you can calculate for A angle theta and angle phi.